second later, Yosh's stomach grumbled, loud for such a tiny person, and Sophie laughed. You're hungry too, huh? Yes, Yosh smiled thinly. Hungry. I know it's taking forever. She turned back toward the kitchen door and called out, Hey guys, any luck? The only response was a loud creak from the depths of the next room. Suddenly, someone screamed. Sophie leapt to her feet and ran toward the kitchen, her fatigue overcome by a burst of adrenaline. Before she got halfway there, Declan burst through the double doors. He stumbled and fell to his knees, crying, Jesus! She rushed to his side. What happened? Are you okay? He was bent double, wheezing. The others spilled out behind him. They all looked green. Declan was gagging. The smell, it's just, he choked out. Lord! We opened the door to the refrigerator, Nat explained. Still looked pale. The food must have all been rotted. It smells bloody terrible, Declan said. So there's nothing to eat, Yosh said in a small voice. There are cans, Nat said, on the shelves against the back wall. We could try those. But that means going back in there, Declan said. I'll do it. And Nat set her jaw and unwound the black scarf from around her neck. In one smooth motion, she tied it around her face, leaving only her eyes exposed. Looks like she's done that before, Sophie thought. Interesting. And Nat marched through the doors. Nico held one side open to provide light, but stayed well behind it. A terrible odor filtered through a well unlike anything she'd ever smelled before. Oh, Sophie gasped. The stench was so strong it set her eyes watering. She went to the far side of the room and collapsed in a chair. Yosh followed and sat beside her again. Sophie found herself gazing at the footprints on the floor, trying to imagine. She'd never been to Long Island, but didn't think there was much wildlife there, besides deer. And they definitely weren't hoofprints. A minute later, Annette emerged with half-dozen large cans filling her arms. She dumped them on the nearest table. Nico let the door fall shut. Garbanzo beans, Nico said, greeting the cans doubtfully. Diced tomatoes, jalapeno peppers. Oh, those will be tasty. You're more than welcome to look yourself, Annette said. This one does not look right. Yosh held up a can of stewed peaches. Botulism, Sophie agreed, examining it. The entire can had bowed out in the center. Must have been close to the expiration date. Shame, Declan commented. Peaches would have been nice. We've got another problem, Sophie said. What? Annette asked. No can opener. Declan groaned. Fantastic. Looks like we're going back in anyway. Someone else's turn, announced. I'll go. Everyone turned to Yosh, surprised. She lowered her eyes. I don't mind smells too much. I will try and find some utensils too. You sure? Declan asked. She nodded, then squared her shoulders and marched toward the door. Nico pulled it open again, and she vanished inside. Now with a word from our sponsor, the I Don't Know store. I'm not really sure what we carry. I'm sure it's a bunch of knickknacks and stuff like that. Our store hours are